Okay, Mr. Phobes here. I'm going to show you how to save these files and post them into your journals. So here's my three required studies. Um, this one is the 3-axis, the 4-axis, and the 5-axis. Um, I strongly suggest you first save this as an Illustrator file, and that will save all of your project as one. So when you open it, it'll look just like this. So what you would do is you go File, Save As, and just select Illustrator and just hit Save. Now I've already saved this, so I'm not going to do that. So if you saw this on your desktop, it would say just like this, Radial Studies AI, and when you opened it, it's completely editable. So now what we want to do is we want to save them uh, as three separate files. Now we can save them as three separate files so they're each individually editable. So the way we would do that is we would go File, Save As, and we'd say Illustrator, but when we hit Save this time, I'm just going to say Replace. Um, One thing that comes up is a dialog box, and you can go save each artboard to a separate file. And again, if you want to save all of them, you just hit all. But if we look at this, we see that this one's blank. There's no really reason to save that. The way that I have the board set up is 1, 2, 3, 4. So my range is going to be 1 through 3. And then I hit OK. If I look at my desktop, there they are right there. Radial Study O1, O2, and O3. Those are saved as Illustrator files, so they are editable. But now what I want to do is I want to save them individually as JPEGs. So what I have to do is I have to go File, Export, and we're going to go Export as JPEG. We select that. Now we'll go Use Artboard again. We'll go Range 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go Export. And a dialog box will come up and it'll ask you how big you want it. It automatically saves it for the screen, which is 72, which is great because if we saved it at 300, it's going to be too large for Blackboard. So make sure it's saved at 72 pixels per inch. You could maybe bump this up a little bit, but not very much. Color mode should be RGB, and then hit OK. Now when we go to the desktop, you're going to see not only the Illustrator files, but now here's the JPEGs right here. And those are what we're going to post. Okay, so if I go, I'm going to post this in the example so you can kind of see how this works. So if we just look at the instructions here, I've changed them just slightly. You're asked to put a scanning of your trace pattern and then the images. I'm going to say we don't really need the motif here. I'm going to ask you to post the motif here, and then we'll just post the finished radial study. We don't really need to do this. It's more work than necessary. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my my example here, and you'll be able to open these and look at them. Okay, so I'm going to go. I've already posted the motif in here. So there it is. I've done that. Now what I want to do is post my files. So I just go Edit, and then I am going to make sure you label them so I know you know what they are. And then I'm going to go Insert, and then browse my computer. And I'll just do, here's the first one, which is the 3-part. Open. Then we go appearance. Now look at this. See, it's 648 by 648. That makes sense because it's 9 inches by 9 inches at 72 pixels per inch. So that's going to be perfect. We actually want this to be a little bit smaller. Let's make them 500. So the file size remains the same, but the window changes to 500. And let's make sure we put a border around this. This is going to be really important. Hit insert. Okay, there it is. And then what you would do is, you can label this. And then just hit return, and then you would select your next one. This will be the 4-axis appearance. Change this to 500. Put the border around it. Insert. Okay, there it is. Okay, so one of the things that I would like you to do, now see they're too close together. What I should have done is given it a little bit more space, like that. Somehow I lost the text too. I must not have saved that. Give yourself space, but don't put them right on top of one another. Post entry. That looks good. I just need to put the 3-axis, and of course I'm mixing the, that's what happened to it, so I just needed to move it. So the requirement is that the 3 minimum, or the 3 minimum studies are the 3-axis, the 4-axis, doesn't matter what order you put them in the 5-axis, and the motif. What is required is that these minimum 3 studies are from your traced motif. If you want to add extra studies, and that, let's say they're from your expansion, that's fine. But the requirement is I really want to see that you've studied the problem with your traced pattern. Okay, that's it.